Alright, let's make this quick. How to write any essay. MrCastellano.com. Look, you start with hot green tea, okay? If you're an advanced writer, you know you should start with trying to get the reader's attention. And then you talk a little about your topic. And then you get to your main point. Simple as that. Now, body, just remember meal. Alright? Start with your main point, and then give a piece of evidence that supports your main point, and then analyze that evidence, which means go in depth. Mention people, places, or things that support your evidence, and then give another piece of evidence, and then support your other piece of evidence by giving another example, analyzing, and then link back to your main point. I'll show you how to do that. Now, eat as many meals as you like. Okay? Second grade, we wrote 3 paragraph essays. Sixth grade, we wrote 4 paragraph essays. In college, you write 20 paragraph essays, but the theory is all the same. Intro, body paragraphs are separated by meals, and then you get to your conclusion. Now, duplicate your meals as often as you like. And at the end, you are thankful and you say, "This supper's done." Thesis. Repeat your main point, and then summarize your essay, and then at the end tell your reader to do something or believe something, so at the end the reader says, "Wow, he's talking to me? This is a good writer." Now, how to bamboozle your way into passing the global regions. Look, a lot of kids are failing the global regions. They have essays, they don't know what to write, they just leave it blank, and they fail, and they wonder why. Losers. But look, you can be a winner if you can just finagle your way into passing the global regions, and I'll show you how to do it. Here's a thematic essay. I haven't taken a global class in like 35 years, alright? But I took this one right now. Just the essay, by the way. This is what it's asking you to do. 2 geographic barriers. Explain the challenge of those barriers, and how did people use technology to overcome those challenges. I looked at that, I said, wow, I don't know what to write, but look at a freaking prompt. Look! Look right here, it tells you what to write about. They give you like 20 things to write about. All you have to choose is 2. Choose 2 out of the 10 things they ask you to write about. I'm going to write about the desert and the Russia's tundra. And look, they're even trying to get you to pass. They tell you what to put in the intro. Now look, before you start the essay, work on the body first. Go to the body. And in the body, of course, you're going to mention a geographic factor, what are the challenges, and how did technology overcome those challenges. In more detail, here's an example. What can I mention? What's a barrier? The Sahara Desert. Okay? Remember, this was in the prompt. Let me go back to it. Look, it's right here, Sahara Desert, Russia's tundra. I said what I'm going to write about. Now I'm outlining it. Sahara Desert, what's the problem? It's hot. Duh. How do I explain the heat? Well, there's no water. Horses can't survive in the heat. There's no plants, and there's a low food source. Now, what's the second part of the paragraph? Explain how technology was used to solve the problem. I don't know much, but they used canteens to keep the water cold, and Arab clothing is thin. Not yet, JR. And an Egyptian kid once told me that, you know what camel means? He said, camel means ship of the desert. Okay, then I just threw in dried meat because I don't know what I'm talking about. You explain this in detail, and then you just go back to the beginning. Alright, for example, as you can see, the desert was a problem, but the people there used technology to overcome it. Now, let me show you an example of a formally written body. This is the main point. Russia's frozen tundra, which includes the infamous Siberia, a prison camp for the country's worst offenders, has a climate and territory that is cold and unlivable. And then I give an example. Alright? This is the challenges. The cold is a health risk, and snow in the area makes travel near impossible. Now I have to explain this example. The Russians, however, have found ways to not only live in the tundra, but to exploit it for its resources. For example, Russians have developed specialized drilling procedures. Their drills are so great that they were able to penetrate through ice nearly 10 feet thick. I don't know if this is a fact, I'm just making this up, okay? But sometimes you have to write what you can to pass the regions. Now, Russians have been able to extract oil, fish, and fresh water from the ice. These resources are allowed Siberians to tolerate the harsh environment. In addition to the specialized drilling procedures, the Russians were able to use the ice to create warmth. They did this by creating igloos. Furthermore, Siberians are able to use the animals in the region for both food and clothing. Look, I don't know what I'm saying, but I said it, and at the end I link it up with the Russians in the tundra did not let the geographic barrier of climate interfere with their need to live on the land. I showed this to a social studies teacher, and I asked her what would you give this on a scale of 1 to 5, and she said I would give it a 5. Why? Because they're used to such crap and blank pieces of paper that if you can get them a beautifully written paragraph that makes some kind of sense, you can get a high score. So write something and make it beautiful and pray, and you'll get there. Now, how to start and finish. Look, just to review, hot green tea. Hook. This is, it's not that great, but whatever. General idea. Russians, tundra. Saharians, Sahara Desert. Thesis, my main point, yeah, they were given barriers, but they used technology to overcome it. Conclusion, same thing, just in reverse order. Main point, I just said it differently, okay? General idea, this is the same as the wait, this supper's done. It's not supposed to be general idea, it's supposed to be summary. Alright, thesis, summary, do something. I'll fix that later. And then, at the end, say something. Civilizations throughout global history have shown that they will overcome geographic barriers regardless of their circumstances. Here's the whole point. If you know how to eat, you know how to write an essay. Hot green tea, hook general idea thesis, then throw in your meals, how many you want. Thematic essay, you can have 2 or 4 paragraphs in the body if you want to get into detail. And then this supper's done. Thesis, summary, do something. MrCastellano.com. Holler if you hear me. Yeah, round and round we go.